Good morning. Welcome to North Carolina and to the 2023 World Anti-Bullying Forum. I am Dorothy Espelage, one of your MCs for the forum. You'll be seeing a lot of me around and about the next couple days. In addition to MCing, I am also the organizer of this event, and you'll learn lots about how we made this happen in the coming days. When I'm not planning conferences, I am the William C. Frida Distinguished Professor of Education at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, go Tar Heels, which is just down the road in Chapel Hill and is the host of this wonderful gathering. I've been doing this work to understand bullying and prevent it for over 3 decades. Bringing you all together actually brings me to tears because I could have never thought of this event in 1993 when I stepped foot at Indiana University to start to understand bullying. We have come so far, but don't we have a lot of work to do? I hope this time in Raleigh will be a critical moment in your work and your careers moving forward. I believe for many of us, it will be. I'm excited to share the stage over the next 3 days with Hinduja. Many of you know him from his groundbreaking work on cyberbullying, and many of you have seen him present in past forums. Samir.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I can't stop smiling, and I was thinking, why is that? It's because I look over this crowd of friends and colleagues and strangers who will soon be friends and colleagues. I just get so excited. You know, we only get to see each other once every 2 years, and it's just wonderful to be together today. I'm a professor of criminology over at Florida Atlantic University, and I co-direct the Cyberbullying Research Center with my colleague, Dr. Justin Patchen. I have a lot to say, but for now, I'll keep it brief. Number one, I want to convey my gratitude towards you, to each of you. You've made sacrifices of time, of money, of energy to be here. Traveling is not easy. Many of us are jet-lagged, but you're here, and you made that choice because, probably, you feel that the bullying prevention community is a family, and that's how I feel as well. And so with that in mind, if you have any needs, please come up to me, please come up to Dorothy or any of our staff or volunteers. We want to make sure that this is the best conference ever for you. That's what family does. And so please, again, give us the chance to come through for you. The second thing that I want to say is that I'm on social media. You're on social media, probably. And so we just want to elevate the visibility and presence and profile of our work. And so please be bold and please be active in taking pictures and posting online, but please use the hashtag WABF 2023. Again, hashtag WABF 2023. Let's do this.
Before we really get started, I want to welcome a very special guest to this event. Everyone, will you please rise for Her Royal Highness, the Crown Princess of Denmark. Please be seated. Her Royal Highness, thank you for being with us. You will hear from the Royal Highness here in just a few minutes. Each and every one of you, as Samir remarked, shows up for kids every day. This forum would not be possible without many people and the generous support of several organizations who believe in the work that we do day in and day out. I'd like to thank our silver level sponsors, the International Bullying Prevention Association, Nickelodeon, and Special Olympics. I'd also like to give a bigger thanks to our gold level sponsors, Meta, TikTok, Choose Kindness Alliance. You will hear about the groundbreaking work from Choose Kindness today at lunch. Please attend. Thank you, gold sponsors. And if you didn't know already, from the signage around the convention center, your tote bags, and the program, you now know that the World Anti-Bullying Forum 2023 is powered by BRP. BRP is a global leader in the world of power sports products, propulsion systems, and boats built on 80 years of intensive consumer focus. You may recognize them from industry-leading and distinctive products that include the Ski-Doo, Lynx snowmobiles, Sea-Doo watercraft and pontoons, Can-Am on and off-road vehicles, and more. However, what you may not know, in 2022, BRP launched its global corporate cause under the banner of Ride Out Intimidation. Through this program, BRP takes a firm stand against intimidation, which is a prevalent social challenge worldwide. To achieve its goals, BRP teamed up with the world's best anti-bullying organizations, many of whom are present in this room as we speak. Since the program was created, BRP has invested more than $2.5 million globally in projects targeting youth in schools, adults in the workplace, and marginalized communities to counter intimidation and raise awareness. We are excited that BRP has invested in the World Anti-Bullying Forum and the community it brings together. Please join me in a round of applause for our presenting sponsor, BRP, and all of our other sponsors. This forum would not be possible if it would not even exist without Friends, an organization in Sweden that is doing a wide range of work for many years aimed at ending bullying in all of its forms. I'd like to invite Frida Warg from Friends to say a few words. Frida. And Magnus.
Yeah. I brought him with me. You know, it's a team effort. Okay. Your Royal Highness and esteemed delegates, good morning, and thank you for welcoming us to this remarkable conference in the heart of the beautiful North Carolina. We are here today, me and Magnus, and our team from Sweden. We are here today with profound gratitude. Our heartfelt appreciation to UNC, the organizers of the WABF 2023. It is through your compassion and devotion that we all have the privilege to convene here today and to share our knowledge during these 3 days. And to all delegates, I mean, I have to pinch my arm just looking at you. It's amazing. You represent the front lines of knowledge, the front lines of change, and your presence here is a testament that change is actually possible. And we are honored with the presence of Her Royal Highness Crown Princess Mary, whose support shines a light, a spotlight, to the importance of our cause that we all share. And the commitment of Her Royal Highness promoting empathy and dignity, I think it serves as an inspiration to all of us. And finally, we are in awe of the warm hospitality that we have met here in North Carolina. And I think that serves as a reminder, actually, of the support and kindness that every kid around the world should be able to take for granted. So, let us join forces during these 3 days to make sure that everyone can lead a world without bullying. So thank you, and let's make a difference.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you.
Thank you, Frida. As we begin this conference, it's important for us to know where we are seated right now and where we are as we go out into Raleigh and North Carolina over the next few days. To share this knowledge, I am pleased to welcome Mr. Greg Richardson to the stage. Greg serves as Executive Director. We'll definitely provide the chance to applaud in just a moment. Greg serves as the Executive Director of the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs and is a member of the Haliwa-Saponi Indian Tribe. As Executive Director of the Commission of Indian Affairs, he is responsible for the overall administration and oversight of all Commission programs and operations. The Commission administers programs designed to address Indian education, housing assistance, workforce development, domestic violence, and Indian child welfare. He has served in the state of North Carolina in a variety of roles since 1975. He brings 30 years of work experience in administration, management, and planning of Indian programs at the state and federal government levels, and extensive work experience in the development of collaborations and partnerships with Indian tribes and Indian associations and nonprofit community-based organizations. Now you can applaud for Mr. Greg Richardsson.
Thank you, Samara, Your Royal Highness, delegates, and to the World Bullying Conference attendees. I am just so inspired to be here today and so honored to be here today to be part of this program. And I say that because I am a person who was bullied. As a young person in school, we were not, as American Indians, always appreciated as a people. So I know how important this work is and how important this work is moving forward into the future, because we should not accept any bullying activities for anyone, but in particular for our children. As a young student sitting in grade school, I remember how that felt. For someone to say, "You do not look like an Indian. Sing me an Indian song. Come and show me an Indian dance." Well, these are very rich rituals that we have, and we don't like to be bullied, and we don't take those type of things very lightly. So indeed, I'm very honored to be here with you today to bring you some information about American Indian land acknowledgement. And so I'll take a moment of your time just to share with you this morning some words from the North Carolina standing point. But I want you to think about this from a global standing point for all Indigenous people throughout the world and all of the tribes in the United States. 574 federally recognized tribes and 63 state-recognized tribes. These are tribes that hold status under the rules and governance policies of our state and our nation. And again, the North Carolina land and territory we occupy today is the ancestral homeland of many American Indian tribes, indigenous people that have historically been identified as Siouan, Iroquois, and Algonquin. Over 14,000 years ago, this land sustained family life, provided nourishment, provided a haven to practice a rich heritage, culture, and ceremonies, a haven that remained today. Throughout history, American Indian communities across North Carolina have demonstrated resilience and faced sustained displacement during removal times, complex historic trauma, and violent efforts to separate indigenous tribal people from their heritage, culture, and land. Bullying was a part of that as well. Today, the General Statutes of North Carolina recognizes the Cherokee, the Coharie, my tribe, the Haliwa-Saponi, the Lumbee, the Meherrin, the Occaneechi, Saponi, and the Waccamaw-Siouan Indians of this state. North Carolina has the largest American Indian population east of the Mississippi River. Before the arrival of the Europeans here, American Indians were very active in terms of sustaining life, and now American Indians still remain here in our state in all 100 counties of our state. We encourage North Carolina citizens to respect, learn about, encourage, support the inclusion of our population in present-day life. Thank you again for this opportunity and this honor to be a part of this conference. Thank you, and have a wonderful conference.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that land acknowledgement, Greg. Next, I would like to welcome to the stage Fouad Abd-El-Khalick, Dean of the UNC School of Education and Alumni Distinguished Professor at UNC Chapel Hill. Fouad has led the UNC School of Education since 2016 and launched his tenure with an inclusive branding and strategic planning exercise that set a vision for the school's community. He has led an ambitious campaign to attract the best, brightest, and most diverse faculty, which has attracted, to date, 35 scholars, rising stars, and established leaders in their fields to join the school's world-class faculty. Also, the school's faculty members are now the most diverse than they have ever been. Under his leadership, the school launched new academic programs and expanded others, resulting in more than 30% growth in student enrollment and instructional activity. Simultaneously, the school's research portfolio saw more than a threefold increase in annual research expenditures from $6 million in 2016 to $20 million in 2022. Partnerships, both across and beyond the UNC campus, have been a hallmark of Fouad's leadership. As a result, since 2016, the school saw a 14-rank upward move in the US News and World Report rankings. The UNC School of Education is now ranked 21st amongst all and 13th amongst public schools of education among close to 400 doctoral granting and more than 1,600 schools and colleges of education at four-year post-secondary institutions in the US. Please join me in welcoming Fouad.
Thank you, Samir. Good morning. My name is Fouad Abd-El-Khalick. I'm Dean of the School of Education and Alumni Distinguished Professor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I have the distinct pleasure and privilege to welcome you and bring warm greetings on behalf of UNC from our Chancellor, Kevin Guskowitz, and Provost, Chris Clemens, who are not able to join us this morning because of prior travel commitments. Your Royal Highness, the Crown Princess of Denmark, welcome to UNC and North Carolina. I laud your support of and engagement with this forum, as well as your global leadership in fighting bullying, isolation, and loneliness. I'm also thankful to our partners in Friends, generous sponsors, keynote speakers, session leaders, and all our participants. I'm very excited to see this forum, now 2 years in the making, splendidly come together. Before I turn to address why we are here and why this forum and your work has the full support, commitment, and investment of UNC School of Education, I start by exposing the person responsible for this assembly. The culprit, fortunately, is known to most, if not all of us. Dorothy Espelage, William C. Frida Distinguished Professor of Education at the UNC School of Education. I have known Dorothy for 23 years, since her days as a junior professor, including the 16 years we overlapped in the College of Education at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I have watched with great admiration her meteoric rise through the academic ranks, generating an incredibly vast corpus of breakthrough research, leading widely impactful public service, and delivering transformative teaching and mentoring with dozens upon dozens of successful careers for her students in academia, schools, government, and public policy. Along the way, she garnered prestigious recognitions that are too numerous to recount here, including as elected member of the US National Academy of Education. Most important to this forum, and I do not make this claim lightly, Dorothy is among a handful of scholars worldwide who can lay the rightful claim for being founding member of the field of bullying prevention research. She has dedicated her entire academic career, indeed her life, since 1993 to the reduction and prevention of bullying, harassment, and discrimination in our K-12 schools, or grade schools for our international audience. In this field, Dorothy is the global leader. Dorothy has published more than 375 refereed research articles, work that is widely influential, garnering more than 44,000 scholarly citations. She has secured more than $13 million in federal and other grants to develop, deploy, and empirically test the effectiveness of anti-bullying interventions in whole school systems across the US, training thousands of educators and students in bullying prevention along the way. She has testified before state and federal legislators, advised local, national, and international officials on evidence-based policy and practice, and advocated in public forums in her efforts to move the needle. Above all, Dorothy is in schools all the time with teachers, students, and educational leaders. She's a force to be reckoned with, and I, for one, am glad she's taking bullying head on rather than taking on the dean. On joining UNC's School of Education in 2016, I turned my attention to recruiting the best, brightest, and most diverse faculty, and Dorothy was on my list. In 2019, we landed her in Chapel Hill, where she has more than delivered for us since then. I believe we have done some amazing and widely impactful things since I joined Chapel Hill in 2016. Yet, in all likelihood, I will simply be remembered as the dean who attracted Dorothy Espelage to Chapel Hill, and that would be absolutely fine by me. Thank you, Dorothy, for making this assembly possible, the first time the World Anti-Bullying Forum crosses the Atlantic to convene in the United States. My excitement about this forum is only paralleled by a sense of solemnness, given its focus. A great equalizer in the most unfortunate sense of the word, bullying is prevalent in all schools. Public and private, rich and poor, rural and inner city, in privileged and underprivileged communities and nations across the globe, and every variation along these continua we choose to attend to. The ubiquity of bullying in all its manifestations presents us all with a wicked problem. This is why bullying prevention is a priority for us, and why yet the UNC School of Education community is with you here today. Every aspect of today's forum aligns perfectly with our vision, mission, and four guiding pillars. It is our mission to realize the transformative power of education, to break down barriers, lift up individuals, and empower communities to thrive. We believe our world is propelled by people. Their hard work, persistence, imagination, innovation, and creativity, as well as their kindness, care, and courage to change. Toward this end, we work to ensure schools and educators build learners' minds, nurture their spirits, and strengthen their resolve. Hence our focus, the first guiding pillar on educating the whole. Schools are communities for learning, and equally, probably more important, schools are communities for living. We owe school students safe and nurturing environments where they are enabled to learn, socialize, grow, dream, create, and thrive toward realizing their full potentials. We need great curricula, amazing teachers, and effective instruction. We also need robust wraparound services for our students, as well as leaders and professionals who seamlessly integrate the two. Bullying in all its manifestations greatly diminishes the potential for both student living and learning, instead contributing to an increasingly widening and deepening crisis that is compromising their well-being, mental health, and growth. Our School of Education researchers seek to ask and answer the most difficult questions and pursue innovative, research-based solutions to the most pressing challenges in education. Bullying is no exception. You would be surprised by how many well-intentioned and intuitively appealing policies, practices, and efforts aimed at reducing bullying that are simply not informed by the science. We have leading researchers who focus on the prevention of bullying, suicidal ideation and action, isolation and anxiety, harassment and discrimination, and who examine peer and family relations, among other challenges. We continue to grow our expertise in biobehavioral health, prenatal through adolescence. To move the needle on education challenges, including bullying prevention, we prepare exceptional educators who attend to student learning, as well as their well-being and mental health. School teachers, principals, and superintendents, as well as school counselors, school psychologists, educational innovators, and researchers. More importantly, we empower our educators and scholars to become leaders in their institutions and communities. We have a number of our alums here in the audience. And they mindfully contribute toward continually improving and transforming their communities. We need each one of you in your sphere of influence, and from whichever lens and experience you bring to this challenge in the globe to help us in the global effort to reduce and prevent bullying. Finally, and especially important, we believe little can be achieved without collaboration. The more difficult the problem is, the more dire is the need for us to come together and collaborate for the greater good. Bullying prevention is a textbook case. What was especially appealing to me from day one when Dorothy approached me about this forum is that everyone that needs to be at the table is here. In this forum, you will get to hear, interact with, learn from, and inform researchers, policymakers, advocates, teachers, school leaders, mental health professionals, parents, industry leaders, social media experts, concerned citizens, and most importantly, our amazing youth. I'm at once excited and solemn, yet I am always hopeful. The one thing I know, the one thing we all know, bullying is preventable. We do have the challenge to continue to research, develop, test, and disseminate best policies and practices. Yet, we already know a lot in these arenas. The next challenge for us is to scale up. This forum is a great step forward. Yet, as important as these are, bullying prevention goes beyond adopting policy and mandating behavior. Bullying prevention, as Dorothy is often quick to remind me, is about attending to relationships in social and cultural contexts. Bullying prevention is about the daily building, maintenance, assessment, small course adjustments, and improvement of how we relate to each other. So beyond the learnings that I'm sure will happen throughout this forum, I trust that you will take this opportunity to build new relationships, expand your networks, and maintain these relationships beyond this forum into future collaboration. We all need you to collaborate and help us in the continuous efforts to move the needle on this challenge in substantial ways. I wish you the best and have every confidence that you will empower us to take great care of all of our young learners in all our schools. They do and will propel the world for our future. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Governor Roy Cooper, who is serving his second term as North Carolina's 75th governor. The governor is a lifelong North Carolinian, born and raised in Nash County, where he attended public schools and worked the family farm during the summers before earning his degrees from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Throughout his career, Governor Cooper has worked to build a stronger North Carolina, where everyone has an opportunity to live in safe communities and get a quality education, a good job, and access to affordable health care. As governor, he has helped create tens of thousands of new jobs, fought to boost public education, revitalize rural communities, and make our state a more inclusive place to live and work. Governor Cooper is focused on ensuring that our people and communities have the tools to grow and thrive, and that our state's best days are ahead of us. Since 2017, I have had the privilege of serving on Governor Cooper's Commission on Access to Sound Basic Education, and experience for myself, firsthand, his steadfast and relentless efforts to affirm and secure for schools all the resources needed to deliver on our state's constitutional duty. That duty is that every child in North Carolina will have access to qualified teachers, educational leaders, and ample resources needed to obtain a sound basic education. Governor Cooper, for me, is advocate-in-chief for education in North Carolina. This is why he literally created time out of his incredibly busy schedule to join us this morning, to be with you, to welcome you, and share a few remarks. Please join me in welcoming the 75th governor of this great state of North Carolina, Governor Roy Cooper.
Well, thank you, Fouad. I need to take you around the state with me. I'm grateful for that kind introduction. Welcome to North Carolina, everyone. So glad to have you here. This is a special place to live and work and raise a family, get an education, and we welcome people from around the world to talk about this important issue. And it's important for us to have caring people from across the globe who are committed to keeping our children safe, healthy, and happy. So I'm glad you're here, and I look forward to this forum. Fouad, you have been a great dean of my home school, our University of North Carolina School of Education. I'm also grateful for your work on our Commission on a Sound Basic Education for the children of North Carolina. And we are going to continue to fight every single day to make sure that every single child in this state has access to a sound basic education that is required by our state constitution. I also appreciate your work with our Office of Strategic Partnerships. Around the world, I hope you can leverage your academic institutions as we have in North Carolina. The talent there, the caring there is extraordinary. And our Office of Strategic Partnerships has helped us through COVID, has helped us deal with education, healthcare issues. We're deeply grateful for those researchers. I'm glad to be here to welcome the World Anti-Bullying Forum as you tackle this important topic. I think bullying continues to be a plague that negatively impacts the mental health of too many students. It impacts their relationships, it impacts their success in school, and it impacts their overall health. I think this forum will present evidence-based research and practices that can help us combat bullying and create safer environments for our children. We know that a quality education is the great equalizer. It provides opportunities for children, and bullying can threaten it. Our schools need to be nurturing environments for students so that they can learn and they can grow and they can succeed. I am so deeply grateful for our educators. Just so you know, my mother was the greatest public school teacher in the history of North Carolina, just so you know. And even to this day, I will be traveling across the state and someone will come up to me and say, "I want to pay you a compliment." And I'll think it's about me and they'll say, "Your mom was the best teacher I ever had." I know what great teachers can do in people's lives. I can name teachers that have affected and made me who I am today. This issue of bullying is yet another challenge for our educators. So finding ways to help them deal with this, and to help parents, and to help administrators, and to help counselors and healthcare officials deal with this is so important. With your collaboration that is happening today and the work that you're doing back in your homes, we can develop comprehensive strategies on both bullying and cyberbullying, unfortunately. And we can use those evidence-based policies to understand how we can best support students. And I'll tell you what's important here. That also means embracing our diversity as a strength. North Carolina is made up of so many different kinds of people, diverse people. It has helped us. It has helped us. Because when you are more diverse, you can be even better because you get input from all walks of life. I've appointed by far the most diverse cabinet and staff in the history of North Carolina. I happen to think it has been the best. And it is a challenge for us to work to understand each other's varying backgrounds and experiences and beliefs. And that's important to avoid the discrimination and the hate that we can see not only in our schools, but around the world. And when we embrace our diversity, we can be so much better. We're working hard to fight bullying in schools and keeping students healthy and safe right here in North Carolina. I've directed federal funding to youth mental health first aid. Our North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services has launched Open to Care, which is an initiative to spread awareness that it's okay to ask for help when you are struggling. So many children keep it to themselves, and to make sure that we are developing efforts to make sure that we let kids know, hey, it's okay to tell somebody that you're struggling. To help prevent suicide, we are promoting our 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline, which connects people with trained counselors 24/7. And our task force for Safer Schools is partnering with Sandy Hook Promise on the Say Something anonymous reporting system, and people can submit incidents of bullying. And of course, in North Carolina, on December the 1st, we will begin Medicaid expansion. Well, we'll have 600,000 more people with health insurance. Healthier families mean healthier children, and it will also attract more mental health resources to our state. And it was a long time coming, but we're excited about that getting started. We finally said yes to the federal government. We will take that $521 billion, $521 million a month. $521 million a month that will be coming into our state to help make sure that people have medical insurance. So I'm grateful, I can see my red light, grateful for your attendance. Thank you for being here. Welcome to North Carolina. Have a great, productive forum. I look forward to reading the recommendations from it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor Cooper. Appreciated his shade of color. Carolina blue on the tie. Did better than me today. But when you're in Raleigh, you have to be careful about Carolina blue. It is now my distinct pleasure to welcome and introduce Her Royal Highness, the Crown Princess of Denmark. The Crown Princess founded the Mary Foundation in 2007 with the mission of fighting social isolation. Under her leadership, the foundation brings together non-traditional partners to develop and manage projects and programs that focus on prevention, the creation of opportunities for and empowering vulnerable individuals and groups who find themselves socially isolated. The Foundation's focus areas are domestic violence, bullying, loneliness, and well-being. The Crown Princess is a passionate advocate for health, gender equality, and the empowerment of women and girls. She is committed to creating awareness and respect and to ensuring compliance with women and girls' sexual and reproductive health and rights, including access to family planning and the reduction of maternal and child mortality. Her Royal Highness is Commissioner of the High-Level Commission on the Nairobi Summit on ICPD 25 follow-up. She serves as patron of several international organizations and agencies, including the United Nations Population Fund and the World Health Organization Regional Office for Europe. The Crown Princess broadly supports Danish interests in the areas of business, culture, and development work. She is also engaged in efforts that promote sustainability, biodiversity, and nature conservation, and has served as Foundation President of the World Wildlife Fund Denmark since 2020. In 2004, the Crown Princess married His Royal Highness Crown Prince Frederik. They have 4 children, Prince Christian, Princess Isabella, Prince Vincent, and Princess Josephine. Please join me in extending a very warm welcome to the Crown Princess.
Good morning, everyone. Well, it's wonderful to be here in North Carolina, and what beautiful weather you've put on for my very short stay here in your beautiful state. You certainly know a lot about me now after that introduction. But, you know, I'd like to talk to you today about the uniqueness of every individual and the universal desire we all share to belong. Each person is different, both in their thoughts and their appearance. From the moment we are born, we possess inherent differences, and as we grow, our experiences and the culture we are surrounded by further shape us. Regardless of who we are or where we find ourselves in the world, we all yearn for a sense of belonging. We crave deep connections with others, as this need is innate within all of us. We all need someone who values us and someone we can value in return. This is why it's so heartbreaking for a child to experience bullying. When a child is bullied, they are stripped of their vital sense of belonging and connection. Today, as we gather in this room, it is important to acknowledge that each one of us is unique and that we bring with us our own distinct perspectives on the complex issue of bullying and its underlying dynamics. It is only natural that our approach to bullying is influenced by various factors such as culture, societal values, and even our perception of children. However, despite our differences, there is a common thread that binds us all together: the shared desire to combat bullying. We all yearn to gain a deeper understanding of why bullying occurs, and more importantly, how we can actively work towards its prevention. Sadly, as we have already seen, bullying continues to persist at an unacceptable level globally. Though there is a growing awareness worldwide that we can indeed prevent bullying, we still have a long way to go. Children from all corners of the globe face the damaging effects of bullying and are often left alone to confront these challenges. When a child becomes a victim of bullying, they are weighed down by fundamental questions of, who am I? Why aren't I liked? Will I ever find a friend? Where do I belong? These doubts can deeply impact their sense of self and shape their future experiences and development. Positive interactions within their communities and relationships during their formative years can boost their self-esteem and empower them to engage with new groups, new communities. Conversely, negative experiences can lead to negative emotions, mistrust, and a profound sense of loneliness. The consequences of bullying on a child's life can be devastating. That is why it's crucial that we prioritize, as we are doing today and every other day for those that are working with this consistently, prioritize the fight against bullying and ensure our focus remains. I firmly believe that we can learn from each other and draw inspiration from one another's experiences. Over the past 16 years, the Mary Foundation has been dedicated to preventing bullying. Through collaboration with practitioners, NGOs, and local governments, we have worked to initiate transformative processes in childcare facilities and schools. Our goal is to foster a culture of care, tolerance, and inclusivity. At the Mary Foundation, we firmly believe that the creation of safe and accepting communities where children feel secure and embraced for who they are is paramount to their development and well-being. All our efforts are rooted in extensive research that forms the basis for our strategies, ensuring that our initiatives are effective and evidence-based. In Denmark, researchers have discovered that to truly understand bullying and its causes, we must shift our focus from individual children to the social processes and culture surrounding groups of children. While it is important to care for each individual child, we need to understand the social dynamics that give rise to bullying in order to effectively prevent and intervene in such situations. Renowned experts, researchers, led by Professor Dorthe Marie Søndergaard, who is also with us today, have found that bullying can stem from children's inherent desire to belong. When children feel unsafe or perceive potential isolation within their community or group, the fear of social exclusion can emerge. In fragile and insecure communities, tolerance levels are low, and their fear of potential isolation and exclusion intensifies. Children begin to question their acceptance and their sense of belonging. This discomfort often leads to the formation of new groups within the group, where bullying can become the binding element. In other words, bullying frequently originates from the fear of being ostracized, being left outside of the group, the fear of not belonging to the group or the community. This affects not only the children directly, but also those who are part of the social context that enable bullying. Understanding this perspective has allowed us to view bullying prevention through a new lens. One of the most effective ways to prevent bullying is by creating safe and inclusive children's communities, where everyone feels accepted for who they are and where they feel they truly belong. And to illustrate this concept, I would like to share with you a short film.
From an outside perspective, it's easy to interpret bullying as a consequence of badly brought up children. It's also easy to assume that children are bullied because of something to do with their looks or personality. But in recent years, research has enlightened us about the actual mechanisms at work. And bullying is really not about the individual child. It's about the culture that exists within the groups of children themselves. We human beings have always needed each other, once just to survive, and now to feel safe and accepted. Social situations help shape who we are and define our identity. Being excluded from a group can therefore have devastating effects. Bullying ties in closely with our need to belong, to be part of a community. If we doubt whether we are accepted, whether we belong, we feel very uncomfortable. One way of easing the discomfort is to create another community, a new group, in which the ingredient that binds us together is bullying. In other words, bullying often sprouts from the fear of being the one left standing alone. In fragile and insecure communities, tolerance is low. Everyone keeps a watchful eye on everyone else, and the one who steps outside the box risks becoming the next victim. That's why many people become passive bystanders in the presence of bullying, despite recognizing the unfairness of what's happening. And then there are others who resort to bullying to avoid becoming a victim themselves. In other words, bullying isn't caused by individual children. Who will be the bully and who will be the victim is not always predictable. It depends on the children's group as a whole. The absolute best remedy against bullying is to support children to be more tolerant and help create positive children's communities. As an adult, you are an important guide and role model in children's social lives. Whether you are a parent, an educator, or someone who helps out with children's activities. You can make a big difference in preventing bullying if you proactively build and support the well-being and community spirit among children. And at the same time, encourage them all to be caring and to have the courage to stand up to exclusion and teasing when they witness it. And most importantly, never forget that bullying is the children's problem, but the adult's responsibility.
In the Mary Foundation, all our initiatives are grounded in the understanding of bullying through this lens. Currently, we have 3 different programs that target areas where children spend their time: daycare, schools, and extracurricular activities. The Free of Bullying program, the first one, is designed for children aged between 0 and 9. And it is a preventive program developed and implemented in partnership with Save the Children Denmark. It is currently being used in over 60% of Danish nurseries and kindergartens, as well as over 50% of schools. The program has also been implemented in other countries such as Greenland, the Faroe Islands, Iceland, Estonia, Romania, and France. The second program doesn't translate that well, but in English it is our School Strength program, which aims to prevent and address bullying through a whole-of-school approach. Developed and implemented in collaboration with Save the Children Denmark and the Danish NGO Børns Vilkår. The goal of this program is to create a culture within each school where everyone feels respected, valued, and has a valued and respected place in the community. Thirdly, we have an anti-bully program which focuses on bullying in sports outside of school, of the school system. This program is operated in partnership with various Danish sports organizations, and we found that bullying was often the reason why many children stopped going to sports activities. And to address this issue, we developed an anti-bully program, which is a specific tool to coaches and trainers, volunteers. And we started off with one of the national sports, handball. I don't know if you know that, but It's a very quick, aggressive game. And the program has later been further developed to work for football, swimming, horseback riding, and tennis. These programs are all aimed at creating safe and inclusive environments for children in all aspects of their daily life. And we're proud to play a role in the positive changes, but we also recognize that the fight against bullying is an ongoing effort. As society evolves and new challenges arise, we have to adapt and continue to address bullying in all its forms and new and emerging forms. In Denmark, the recognition of the importance of tackling bullying has led to the implementation of anti-bullying policies in all schools. This ensures that schools have a framework in place to address and prevent bullying, and it provides families also with a channel to voice their concerns through the National Complaints Board against bullying. It is crucial, and you all are too very much aware of this, that we have to maintain a united front in the fight against bullying. Government entities, NGOs, schools, kindergartens and nurseries, researchers, all have to come together to create a common understanding of the issue and work collectively towards positive change. By collaborating and sharing knowledge and resources, we can make a greater impact and create safer and more inclusive communities for children. However, we must remain vigilant and proactive. It's not a problem that will disappear overnight. It requires persistent and systematic interventions that ensure that every child can feel safe, respected, and valued. With the ever-changing dynamics of children's interactions, particularly with the shift towards online platforms, we have to adapt our strategies to new challenges and protect children in all aspects of their lives. We in the Mary Foundation remain committed to our mission of preventing and addressing bullying. And through our carefully evaluated programs and collaborations with partners, we will continue to work towards a society where every child can thrive without the fear of bullying. As I said at the start, each country has its own unique cultural, structural, and contextual factors that influence the issue of bullying and how it is dealt with. It is important to approach anti-bullying efforts with that understanding of differences and to adapt strategies accordingly. However, despite these variations, there are often common underlying principles and strategies that can be applied universally. By coming together at this conference, we have an incredible opportunity to learn from each other's experiences and exchange ideas on how to effectively address bullying in different countries. Curiosity and willingness to learn are essential in this process. By being open to new perspectives and approaches, we can broaden our understanding and discover innovative solutions. Additionally, collaboration and unity among all stakeholders involved in the fight against bullying are crucial. By working together, we can leverage our collective expertise and resources to make a greater impact. So let us approach the coming days with an open mind and a commitment to learning from each other. Together, we can create a world where bullying is no longer tolerated and every child can grow up in a safe and supportive environment where they feel that they belong. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are all lucky to have you here in your remarks and grateful for all the work you've done over the years for anti-bullying efforts. That concludes our opening ceremony of the World Anti-Bullying 2023. It's officially underway. Please make your way to the workshop, symposium, or session you're choosing. It will begin at 9:15. Following that, we'll have a 15-minute break where we will convene as a larger group and hear from our youth panel from across the globe, recommendations for us as researchers, practitioners, and folks on the front line. Go forward, you guys. Have a good one. Take care.